An iPhone 17 Pro Max versus iPhone 16 Pro Max comparison allows us to evaluate prospective modifications to Apple's most premium phone. Yes, Apple's iPhone 17 lineup won't launch until much later in 2025, but some early speculations along with expected upgrades have given us some sense of what's coming later this year. So there's no time like the present to start thinking about prospective changes. And Apple will have to do a lot to improve upon the iPhone 16 Pro Max, which is not only the best iPhone to have come out last fall, it's also the best phone overall based on our testing. Besides the great performance and epic battery life, Apple's newest premium model also shoots outstanding photographs thanks to a stellar camera system. And like other versions in the iPhone 16 series, it supports the latest Apple Intelligence capabilities. We should expect a new processor powering the iPhone 17 Pro Max, which might provide improvements to both performance and battery life. Rumors are also pointing toward new cameras for the Pro Max model. Meanwhile, Apple could be exploring a possible redesign that would radically modify the look of the phone compared to prior iPhones. Here's a deeper look at how the iPhone 17 Pro Max versus iPhone 16 Pro Max matchup is shaping up at the moment, based on everything we've heard so far about Apple's iPhone plans. The iPhone 16 Pro Max starts at $1,199, making it the most costly model in Apple's portfolio. That pricing matches the cost of the iPhone 15 Pro Max, which launched with a $100 price rise from its predecessor. Ideally, the iPhone 17 Pro Max would cost the same as the iPhone 16 Pro Max, too, but that might not be the case. An early iPhone pricing rumor indicates iPhone 17 prices could be on the rise, though the rumor doesn't specify by how much or which models would be affected. There are two reasons to not fret about a future rise. For starters, it's still early in the iPhone 17 rumor cycle, and pricing information really doesn't come into focus until right before the phones ship. Secondly, if Apple does introduce an iPhone 17 Air, as has been widely predicted, that phone is currently projected to cost more than the Pro Max. You would assume that might set a cap on how much Apple might charge for the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Availability for Apple's new phones is a little bit more obvious. The iPhone 16 Pro Max arrived with the rest of the iPhone 16 series back in September, Apple's preferred month for unveiling new phones. Barring any big shakeup, you can pencil in a hypothetical iPhone 17 release for September 2025. While the iPhone 16 Pro Max resembled its predecessor in the broadest sense of the word, it did feature a fairly substantial change, a larger display. The 6.9-inch screen meant the iPhone 16 Pro Max was bigger, wider, and heavier than the iPhone 15 Pro Max, which boasted a 6.7-inch panel. Otherwise, the iPhone 16 Pro Max was very recognizable as an Apple phone, with a dynamic island feature holding the front camera and Face ID sensors up front and a triangle camera array on the rear of the smartphone. The style of the iPhone 17 Pro Max could shake things up fairly significantly, if speculations regarding Apple's design ambitions prove right. The larger 6.9-inch screen size is expected to return, but the rear of the phone could sport a horizontal camera strip that runs across the handset, not unlike Google's recent Pixel flagships. That assertion is based on a leaked photo that reportedly shows off the iPhone 17 Pro Max's frame. Speaking of frames, there's considerable disagreement as to whether Apple will continue to employ titanium for the frames of its Pro phones or move to aluminum as a cost-saving strategy. Given how Apple advertised the switch to titanium a couple years back, we don't buy the idea that the phone maker would shift course so swiftly, but it's something to keep in mind. While the iPhone 17 Pro Max's display size is anticipated to match the iPhone 16 Pro Max's, there could be another display tweak in the works. One leaker expects Apple to turn to low dielectric technology for this year's Pro model panels, a move that would make the displays more durable while enhancing battery efficiency. Early color speculations for the iPhone 17 Pro claim that teal titanium, green titanium, and dark green titanium could be on the docket for this year's phones. Considering the Pro and Pro Max share colors, we guess the rumor applies to the iPhone 17 Pro Max too. However, Apple tends to have more muted color options for its Pro phones. The iPhone 16 Pro Max comes in black, white, desert, and natural titanium, so we wouldn't put too much weight on that assertion just yet. The iPhone 16 Pro Max received a pair of substantial improvements to its camera arrangement, acquiring a new 48 megapixels Fusion camera as well as a 48 megapixels ultra-wide lens. The Fusion camera operated faster than its predecessor, resulting in faster focus and no shutter lag. The ultra-wide camera introduced better resolution than the 12 megapixels sensor Apple previously employed. Expect those features to return on the iPhone 17 Pro Max, with another probable tweak coming to third rear camera on the future phone. Rumors indicate Apple will unveil a 48 megapixels telephoto camera, an increase from 12 megapixels, sensor that the iPhone 16 Pro Max utilizes for its zoom lens. There's no indication on whether that camera would improve the zoom length from the 5x optical zoom that the present iPhone offers. There's also talk of at least one of Apple's Pro models adding a variable aperture that photographers may manage with a mechanical system. This update would allow you greater control over the depth of field in your images. One other camera rumor would affect all iPhone 17 models, since the true depth camera up front could get an update this fall. One analyst says the new phones would sport a 24 megapixels camera compared to the 12 megapixels lens used by existing iPhones. Since new iPhones typically to have improved silicon, we're expecting the iPhone 17 series to sport new A19 chipsets. In the case of the iPhone 17 Pro Max, that probably signifies an A19 Pro system on chip. It's unclear at this stage to predict what kind of performance enhancements an A19 chipset would bring compared to the A18 Pro powering the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Initial reports suggested the A19 might be manufactured on a 2nm process, meaning its transistors would be packed closer together than the 3nm A18 system on chip. That usually translates to higher performance and less power usage. However, recent sources have stated that the A19 will likewise be a 3nm system on chip. The iPhone 17 Pro Max could benefit from one speculated upgrade compared to the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Apple is anticipated to increase the RAM in its next phones with an eye on helping improve artificial intelligence performance. That would indicate 12 gigs of RAM in the iPhone 17 Pro Max compared to 8 gigs in the current model. Here's where the iPhone 17 Pro Max might have a hard time improving on the bar established by the iPhone 16 Pro Max, as the current model posted the greatest time of any iPhone we've ever put through our proprietary battery test. In that test, we have phones surf the web continually over cellular until they run out of juice. The typical phone can hang out for a little more than 10 hours on that test, while the iPhone 16 Pro Max averaged 17 hours and 35 minutes. The A18 Pro chipset helped the iPhone 16 Pro Max land on the top phone battery life list, but the current model also profited from a larger battery than its predecessor. There aren't any reports yet about what kind of battery the iPhone 17 Pro Max would utilize, a part of a suggestion that Apple could use a new glue to hold batteries in place, making them easier to change in the new versions. One change we hope to see with the iPhone 17 Pro Max is an improvement to charging speeds. The iPhone 16 Pro Max continues to support 30-watt cable charging, although other phones have embraced far quicker speeds. By the time the iPhone 17 Pro Max debuts, Apple will have unveiled iOS 19. Of course, the same software upgrade will be accessible to the iPhone 16 Pro Max, so there's likely to be little difference in the functions both phones support. The same thing goes for Apple Intelligence. Apple might develop some iPhone 17 specific AI functions, much like visual intelligence only works on iPhone 16 models. But for the most part, the same AI functions supported on the iPhone 17 Pro Max will be able to run on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Assuming a September 2025 debut for the iPhone 17 Pro Max, we've got a lot of time for further rumors to emerge. That should provide a clearer image on what kind of changes to expect from an iPhone 17 Pro Max versus iPhone 16 Pro Max comparison. So stay tuned for further updates on the iPhone series, and feel free to share your expectations for this exciting new device in the comments below. See you in my next video. Goodbye.